Halloween might be over, but I've still got spooky things on my mind, and today I wanted to talk about the old-fashioned hex. So yes, you guys, hexes still happen, and they are probably happening to you without you even knowing. So today I want to talk about what the modern hex is, what you need to look out for, and how you can start to safeguard yourself against it. So if that sounds interesting to you, then be sure to keep watching. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome aboard. My name is Jen. I am a life coach and law of attraction teacher, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about the art of transforming your life through mindset and manifestation, because usually I find people have problems manifesting things. It's because their mindset isn't right. And so here I'm going to give you all the goods on how you can really break through and go to your next level in love, money, adventure, whatever it is for you. So please hit that subscribe button and stay on the journey with me. So what is a hex? A hex is basically a kind of bad spell that people put on you. And so at the beginning of the video, when I talked about hexes and modern hexes, you were probably like, oh my God, is this really happening to me? And yes, it probably is happening to you, but it's probably not happening in the way that you are first thinking. So what am I talking about when I say the modern hex? Well, basically I am talking about anytime anyone tells you something about you that is limiting or negative in nature. And so you guys, that happens to us all the time. And you might actually be doing this to other people and not even realizing it. So today I wanted to make a little video for you guys to explain what this is, to explain why this is so negative, and to help you to understand it so that you can protect yourself from this when it happens, and so you can stop doing it accidentally yourself. So let's get into the tips. So we have all had this happen to us at one point in time. You get an idea or you get a new vision for yourself in the future and you're super excited about it. So say, for example, you've decided that you are going to move to LA from the small town that you currently live in now. And when you go out into the world and you start to tell people about your plan, not everybody is completely on board with it. And you might even hear some negative responses from people like, oh, you're never going to be successful there. Oh, you shouldn't bother. The people there are terrible. Oh, the weather's awful. It's really crowded. It's too expensive, and like, you just shouldn't go. And oh, you're not the kind of LA person. Like, who do you think you really are? Like, these are kinds of things that people will say to you without even thinking about it. And these things can really actually be a form of a hex. So what is a hex in the traditional sense? A hex is a spell that traditionally was like put on somebody. And you probably think about this as something that happens in like a fairy tale book. But honestly, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than the example that I just gave you. When somebody tells you that you aren't capable of something, when somebody speaks that out loud to you, when somebody has the intention of changing what you do and what you think, basically that's a hex. Somebody is trying to limit your reality. Somebody's trying to dull your shine. Somebody is trying to make you do something for a certain reason. And when I say it like that, you're probably going to feel really angry, because we can all think of times when this has happened to us, and you can probably feel like, oh my God, I can't believe that person said that to me, or I can't believe someone is trying to control me, or I can't believe someone thinks that I should limit myself in this way. So before we go all aggro and go into the world and start yelling at the people that have done this to us, let's just stand back a second and try to understand where this is coming from. So just know I'm not excusing this behavior. Like, I don't think any of us have the right to tell anybody else on the planet what to do. I mean, if someone's coming to you for advice, that's one thing. But if you're just offering your unsolicited opinion randomly to people because you think that they should take your opinion on as their own, like, that's really unnecessary. Like, we've all got our own stuff. We all know our own situation way more than anyone else ever will, right? So we have to remember to trust that and to not feel like we need to interject and give everyone our 2 cents all the time. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The second thing to keep in mind, so that you don't go completely aggro when someone is accidentally hexing you, is to remember that most of the time people are coming from a place of love and concern. And the thing is that we all intrinsically feel like doing something new, trying something new on some level is dangerous. So when your mom or your best friend or somebody at work says something like, oh, you'll never be able to do that, or oh, you can't do that, or oh, you shouldn't try doing that, or whatever it is that they're telling you, please understand that that isn't necessarily them completely just trying to shit on your parade. I mean, maybe sometimes it is, but most of the time it is because they just want you to be safe. They just want you to be happy, and they know that where you are right now is an already known place. It's already a place of safety and comfort, and you are doing okay there, right? So when the world around us changes, it threatens us. So it doesn't even matter if someone else in your sphere of possibility is doing something new on some level that activates the fear inside of you. So please remember that when you have this happen to you, because a lot of this accidental hexing that goes on is really just coming from people's overblown fear muscle. And so when you understand that, it becomes less about people, you know, trying to drag you down and trying to make you play small and people taking away your shine, and more about like, oh, well, this person really just can't see the bigger picture. This isn't their dream, so of course they're not going to be able to see the bigger picture. And, you know, honestly, they're just trying to keep you safe. And the safety that they know is doing exactly what you're doing right now. So I just want you guys to be aware of this, because I know that sometimes when we go through life and we're expanding and growing mentally, spiritually, emotionally, we are going to accidentally encounter this accidental hexing. People are going to say things to us sometimes, things that aren't in our best interests, okay? But you need to understand what that is and be able to lovingly disengage with it, okay? So when you can see people accidentally hexing you, when you can identify that behavior, and when you can see it for what it is, like just someone trying to protect you, someone who isn't completely invested in your future as much as you are, because no one can be, then it's a lot easier to forgive this behavior and not to get angry and defensive about it. So that's one of my big takeaways from this video. I want you guys to be aware that accidental hexing is a thing and that it happens all the time, and that really it's not cool for any of us to do this. But I also don't want you to go out there guns blazing off into the world being angry anytime anyone gives you an unwanted opinion about your life and your abilities and about who you are, because we always have the option to come from a bigger place, a better place, a place of love and joy, right? And we do not have to try to angrily control everyone else. So again, so if you don't want people to control you and tell you what you can't do, then you also have to extend that right to other people. I mean, I'm not talking about boundaries. Like, of course, there's some issues in life that'll come up that maybe you need to actually set a boundary with somebody. Most of the time, though, when this happens, this is just going to be like kind of a one-off incident, and it probably isn't necessitating you to go to the next level and talk through and set a boundary. Like, there's a way that you can just release this, see it for what it is, mentally thank them for their opinion, or even actually thank them for their opinion. Be like, oh, that's great, thank you for sharing that, and disregard it. Throw it away. Don't let it into your bubble, okay? So that's really what your job is, and that's really what the point of this video is. When people hand you an opinion, you do not have to take it on board. You do not have to take it on board. In fact, why would you want to take it on board, right? When you're a conscious creator, you need to create your own life. And that means you get to decide on what you believe in and what you believe is possible. So the moment that you start taking someone else's opinion and ideas into account, you are coming away from your authentic self, okay? So that is leading you farther away from the truth that's in here and onto some other pathway that isn't genuinely yours. So I know this can be hard, because I know a lot of us are people pleasers and we're used to wanting everyone in the world around us to really have approve of everything that we're doing and everything that we want and everything that we're going for in life. But the sad reality is we can never do that, you guys. You can spend your whole entire life trying to make the people around you approve of you, and you can still fail. So in the meantime, when you are trying to do that, when you are trying to get everyone else's attention and you're trying to make them approve of you by doing what they want, then you're letting go of everything that you want at the same time, right? Because you can't do all the things. We have to make, you know, choices. We have to spend our limited time and energy on the things that are important to us. So when you realize that people pleasing is ultimately pushing your own dreams away, then it becomes a little bit easier for you to be like, okay, I gotta let that go. I cannot let the mom or the auntie or the boss or whoever run my life. I cannot do that, because again, at the end of the day, even if you tried, you still cannot get that approval. That approval is never guaranteed. Somebody out there somewhere is going to have some sort of opinion about what you're doing with your life that you may not like. But that's okay, because we have to let that go. We have to let that go, because if we don't let that go, if we let that control us, again, like I said, we're going to have to let our dreams go away on some level. We cannot have everybody's best interests happening at the same time. We have to choose, and I'm asking you guys to choose your own best interests only, always. So I hope this video helps you to see what these unhelpful opinions really are, and to get beyond them, not to get angry about them, but to see them for what they really are, to understand that they're hexing you, that they're putting a bad energy on you, they're putting this controlling thing on you, but that you don't have to do that. And I really, really just want you to understand that the more that you try to take on other people's opinions and live your life for them, the farther away you get from your own dreams and ambitions, and ultimately from your own happiness. So please stay the course and remember what is true and real for you. Let it go with love. See these things for what they are. Hopefully you can step away from accidentally doing this yourself. I know that we have all been programmed to give our 2 cents to everyone at any moment of the day, and that isn't always helpful. So try to refrain from doing this yourself. Treat it with love when it comes to you, and remember just to double down on whatever is lighting you up from the inside, because that is always the most important thing. So you do you, boo, and let the rest go and leave those hexes behind you. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you like this and if you want to hear more from me, you should come on over to the site. I have a free Magical AF audio download for you guys to get over there. It's a little kind of private podcast episode that's only for my subscribers. So if you come over and sign up for updates, I'll send that to you right away. And you will also get access to my amazing freebie library of amazing high vibe resources. So please come over and check it out if you're liking this whole thing here. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to hear more, hit that subscribe button. And other than that, I'll be back in the next week. So go out there and stay true to you, my beautiful darlings, and I will see you next week. So until then, as always, just remember, get ready for the miracle. See you guys.